most dairy farmers choose the Holstein when they're setting up a herd. These cows, once they start producing milk, they're going to usually measure milk in pounds because it's easier to measure by weight. So these cows are at their peak are going to be producing well over 100 pounds of milk a day. So that's let's see, 8 pounds per gallon. What's that, like 12 gallons a day? Does that sound right?
She's pushing. She's pushing.
Much more than any calf would ever need to survive. It looks like we've got a hoof starting to poke out here.
How'd you see it?
Fetal membrane now. I hope people are rushing to the tent because she's not waiting.
Can everybody get?
If you're just arriving at the tent, you're just in time. This cow is starting to push her calf out. We see another layer of the water sac, which has the hooves in it, coming out now. As soon as that breaks, then we'll actually get to see the shape of the calf's hooves. But she is making fast progress pushing this out. If you have any questions about this cow, or birth, or the dairy industry in general, by all means, or ask anybody that's wearing an attractive red shirt.
Oh, here it comes, guys. Here it comes.
So the calf is coming out hooves first, followed by the head. So the front hooves and then the head. So if you're close, you sitting in the front can probably see the hooves inside that water sac.
There is plenty of room on the bleachers, so we could ask people to come on in and have a seat. We don't anticipate her getting up at this point, I don't believe.
She looks pretty comfortable to me, and she is doing her job here.
Ooh, watch, hon. She's pushing.
So has this cow calved before? All 4 of these cows here, this will be their second calf. So they have all calved once before. That puts them at about 3 years old. Cows tend to have their first calf at about 2 years old. And so this will be the second calf for all of them. how long the calf is in the birth canal. As long as the cow is making constant progress, we are not really concerned about how long it takes. If it were to go on more than a few hours, we would definitely assist. But as long as that umbilical cord remains intact, and it does until the calf's head is well out of the cow, so there's not much concern about compression of the calf in the birth canal during birth. How long is gestation in a cow? It's 9 months, just like in a human. Which is a little bit odd because generally the larger the animal, the longer the gestation. Humans are the outlier here, but not cows. Do we know the sex of the calf? Probably they could look up the sex of this calf. They breed mostly with sexed semen, which is sperm that is already sorted male and female. So if this is a cow with really good genetics, they probably have bred it to female sperm so that she's gonna have a heifer calf. If it is a cow that has mediocre genetics, they might breed it to a beef breed and maybe sex it to male semen because the males are really good. You can tell the sex of the calf via ultrasound at like 50 days gestation, but something like 95% of them are going to be female because they have sorted the semen. How long does the average birth take? So for a cow that is not a first-time mother, once she gets to this point, usually less than 2 hours later, there's a calf, and sometimes as little as 45 minutes. It's not uncommon for births to stall at this point when the shoulders are starting to engage in the birth canal. The calf shoulders are the widest part of it on its way out. And sometimes if any extra stretching needs to be done, this is when it is. But then as soon as it is stretched, sometimes the calf will come right out rather quickly. So those of you that are close can probably
Ooh.
see the hooves inside this sac, this amniotic sac. That will eventually break. It's providing nice lubrication for her. And they are almost out far enough that you're going to start seeing the nose soon. But it'll be obscured by that sac until it breaks. Generally, the fluid-filled sac is really good for the stretching of the birth canal so we don't bother breaking it. If this were happening on the farm and an employee walked by and she's at this stage, it would not be uncommon for them to go assist by grabbing hold of the feet and pulling them out, but we really prefer for them to have it on their own care. And these older mothers will frequently have the calf when the employees aren't looking. They're always so is there the veterinarian involved? So I'm a large animal veterinarian. That's my job. But I only get called out if there's a big problem. Well over 95% of the births are normal or require minimal assistance. And the farmers are quite skilled at handling simple complications. It is only the really difficult ones like a breached birth or a twisted uterus or some very strange position of the calf that you would call the veterinarian to come help. So I'm really good at abnormal births. I've seen lots and lots of them. Any questions over here? So we can, at this stage, anywhere between a half hour. Well, I reached in there earlier, about the capture in a normal position, where everything is proceeding normally. So you notice the cow is not making a lot of noise. I'm sure there is some discomfort as her birth canal needs to stretch, but not nearly as much as we generally associate with humans giving birth. Cows are stoic by nature, but she's not in nearly the sort of intense discomfort that human mothers have to deal with. It's pretty common among prey species, right? You don't want to be attracting predators by making a lot of noise to let them know when there's about to be a helpless calf born. So cows are generally pretty quiet. They might moo, low sounds, but not a lot of distress. were twins born here at the fair last night. I don't know, I'm sure last year we had at least one set of twins, always two. Which is a little strict. It's, in my experience, about 1 in 50 births is twins. And so if we have two calves at every day at the fair, then a lot of years we get twins. Do we know whether we're going to get twins? When I'm doing pregnancy diagnosis as a veterinarian on the farm, sometimes I do notice twins and I tell the farmer this cow's going to have twins. But it wouldn't be that strange for me to miss the second while I'm checking. So sometimes we do. I don't know that any of these cows have lost. They will have births any time of the day or night. They don't seem to have a preference one way or the other, which is kind of inconvenient for a dairy farmer because they have to have someone watching the cows 24 hours a day. Standing up usually slows things down a little bit. Hopefully she's just repositioning so she can sit back. She's sniffing her another.
Hey guys, if everybody can take a seat in the bleachers and try to be as quiet as possible, we want to keep everything as quiet and calm for her so she isn't disrupted. How long the cows live? So your typical dairy cow, she has her first calf when she's 2. She lives 5 lactations, 7 or 8. If you're talking about a cow that is not expected to produce milk or work at all, then probably they could live longer than that. But generally, 7, 8, 10 years is a good age for a dairy cow.
Oh, watch, she's moving around.
One of the advantages of our modern technologies is that, just like in this pen where we have cameras checking out this cow so everyone can see, some farmers employ those in their calving pens so they can quickly glance at the monitor to see if their cows are doing anything. They know when it's due and it's getting late. So in the middle of the night, maybe you don't have to walk out to the barn,
sniffing.
you just flip on the monitor. I had a question about the normal milking cycle of a cow as it relates to births after their first one. So as you probably know, the only reason for an animal to make milk is they have a calf, they have a baby, and it needs milk. So cows don't start producing milk until they've had their first baby. And then they peak in milk production